Good evening, folks. And tonight we're going to talk about how a rough draft of a 12-team playoff would be, and Devin Browns' potential replacement for maybe 2 games if that ever does happen, and and Michigan's allegations. First off, let's start with the 12-team playoff situation. I'll mention the 12 teams. First, we'll go on all in order. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington, Oklahoma, Alabama, Oregon, Penn State, Oregon State, and Ole Miss. That's your order that you have them all in. Now, this is not set in stone. This is just a rough draft. Now, later on, I'll do another segment on that part when it's all finalized and the final tally is in, and then the final 12 teams are done. And then we'll do another round about this and say, okay, these teams, and this is how it would work. Well, the first 4 teams, number 8, Alabama, will be home against Oregon. The first 4 teams all have a bye and all have an automatic bid for a tournament. Automatically have a bid for both the Fiesta Bowl, which is potentially, I'm not really sure where, I'm just guessing. The Fiesta Bowl, which would probably be Georgia. The Peach Bowl would probably be Florida State, not really sure. The Rose Bowl would probably be Michigan. The Sugar Bowl would probably be Ohio State. Now, with that being said, Alabama would play Oregon at home. Washington would play Ole Miss at home. Texas would host Penn State. And Oklahoma would host Oregon State. Now, with those games being played, the winner will advance and play those 4 teams. Now, if Georgia were to be one of them, they would move on and play either Florida State or Washington or Ole Miss. Or one of them. Same with Ohio State. Penn State takes on Texas. If Penn State were to win, they would take on Michigan. If they were to beat one of them, it would either play Oklahoma, Oregon State, or Ohio State. Then it would almost be like a rematch all over again. Now, granted, that being said, this isn't like years past, like since the 4-team playoff has started, where you can lose 2 games and you're automatically done and gone and everything. Because that's pretty much what the norm is, where you can win 2 games and you're automatically gone and out of playoff contention. This is a totally different ballgame. We actually have chances to win here. You gotta play your best, go out there, show you got some balls, and show you deserve to be there. These guys, on the other hand, now, as a Michigan, on the other hand, totally different ball game. I gotta admit it. You go from a 2-4 season, and you flip the season around just like that. I've yet to see any program in the history of the United States turn their program around like that. I've yet to see anybody do that. I mean, I've been alive for 39 years. I mean, I'm not 39 yet, but I'll be 39 in December. But you might as well go ahead and say I'm 39. In all my 39 years of life, I've yet to see, and when I got to know the game of football, I've yet to see anybody turn a losing season, a really bad losing season, into a winning season the next year. And what this has come to is Michigan's assistant coach name, a guy by the name of Connor Stallions, who is an analyst for Michigan, was an analyst, now he's been suspended pending this investigation, supposedly. He was pretty much spotting out for that team up north, watching very closely what goes on, and lo and behold, it happened. And sure enough, that team up north Michigan was watching very closely what went on, and supposedly he got 30 he got tickets for. He got tickets from He bought 30. He bought 30 game tickets for 30 games over the past 3 years or something, for 30 games or so, for the past 3 seasons, just to go watch in person. And this Penn State Ohio State game, he was going to attend in person to videotape. And sure enough, it was stopped because of this investigation. And sure enough, during the Ohio State game last year, and Jim Harbaugh claims he has no idea what went on. But however, if you watch during one of the play skits, CJ Stroud out there on the field, getting ready to do the snap play, he's in position for the quarterback snap. All the defensive players think it's a run at the time. However, they're all in formation for the run play. Then when he puts his hands in motion to do whatever it is that he does on the field, the analyst points his hand up as if it's a pass play. And sure enough, it was a pass play. Because they actually showed the play and it was a pass play. They all knew what was going on. Even the second string sideliners knew it. Because the analyst showed it. It's that simple. No need for further evidence. You cannot go in person and say, yeah, sign stealing is not necessarily illegal. I mean, you can still steal signs like, hey, this person does this, that person does this. But videotaping, the videotaping part is what is illegal. That's what everyone's trying to say. Oh, you're just putting words in my mouth. No. You're not listening very carefully. It's called videotaping the plays and then recording it to the players so they can see how it's done. And then all they had to do is know when they're doing this, they fall back every single time. It's that simple. That's how you beat your opponent. You cheat. Cheatgate is really getting old. It's just bad for Michigan. It's a bad symbol for Michigan because I feel bad for all the kids who may lose the season out on this. I mean, I may not be a Michigan fan, and I'm not a Michigan fan, but they need to be punished. And same would go for Ohio State if they did the same thing. They would have to be punished too. And as of that, anybody who did that should be punished. It shouldn't just be. And I feel bad for all the kids who were not involved. I mean, that's really sad. You would have to punish, but that's what you get. It takes one bad apple to ruin one's whole season. And that's literally what is going on here. You have one bad apple who ruins the entire season for these kids. These kids did everything they could to go out and try to win something, and you take it all away because you have one clown out there who just wants to try to screw it all up for everyone. That's literally what this is. I remember those days back when I was in high school, junior high, and all the way through elementary school. You had one idiot in class who would act up, and they'd punish you, even though the other kid wouldn't fess up to it. The whole class got punished. I remember those days too well, and this is exactly a perfect example of that. And they deserve it, unfortunately. And Michigan's gonna get it, I feel. These are the options they could easily get. They could easily get for however long this has been going on, which they're talking about since 2021, which is the first time they beat Ohio State. They could strip those 2 games away. They could strip those 2 entire seasons away and maybe not even allow them to go to bowl the game this year. Just strip those wins away all the way across the board and no bowl game this year. And potential bowl ban for maybe 4 years. Who knows how long? I mean, this literally could go on forever. And really not have a bowl game. You can have an unbeaten season and go to a bowl game, kind of like Ohio State did the one time. Not go to a bowl game and go unbeaten. No bowl game. Man, Ohio State literally just went out of the way and literally beat everybody. And they had to give everything up due to Tattoo Gate. And this is worse than Tattoo Gate, by all means. Yeah, everyone's trying to throw this underneath the rug. Other people are trying to throw this underneath the rug like it's nothing, and that's nothing compared to Tattoogate. Well, it is beyond Tattoogate. Supposedly, Tattoogate, compared to Tattoogate, people were, Terrell Pryor and a few others, turned in their Ohio State memorabilia. Anytime you beat Michigan, you win a pair of gold pants, okay? So they were turning in their gold pants for pairs of tattoos, which you weren't supposed to do at the time. But now you can, supposedly. And supposedly the tattoo artist knew this wasn't allowed, so apparently he called over to the coach and told the coach about this. And the coach pretty much said no, didn't really do anything about it. He said no. He just threw it underneath the rug like it wasn't even going to happen. And then sure enough, this came to life, and we had self-imposed our sanctions. Trussell got fired, and he got fired. He got fired, and we self-imposed an entire year ban. We couldn't go the following year, and the year later we went to 2011. We had to forget 2010 because that's the year it all happened. 2010 all wiped off, even though a Sugar Bowl win. That's literally what this comes down to. Now, as of the quarterback situation, since Devin Brown is injured, now don't get me wrong, he might be back in 2 weeks or so, which is most likely going to happen. Let's look at the quarterbacks we got here. Now, if Kyle McCord were to go down anytime soon, which I don't think will happen, hopefully not, you got some pretty good quarterbacks here. One who just lost his black stripe, which is very good, which means he's coming a long way. Lincoln Kienholz out of Pierre, South Dakota, is pretty much the one that you might want to look at, while Tristan Gibati, I think. Jabia, Gebbia, I think, Jabia or something like that. I can't really pronounce, I'm not real good at pronunciations on last names. He's a transfer out of Oregon State, so he's another one of those you don't want to look past, but those two were pretty much the ones that they were looking at. Now, these other quarterbacks that you were pretty much willing to look at, Mason Maggs, a sophomore, and senior Chad Ray, number 19. Mason Maggs, number 16, he was pretty good. Now, Tristan Gagbia is a graduate transfer, and Lincoln Kienholz is a freshman, redshirt freshman. He can redshirt the rest of this year out and everything if he wants. I mean, only way he could possibly lose that redshirt freshman is if something happens. Now, I don't see anything happening. I see him maybe playing some games in here shortly. But Kyle McCord has played a very good season this year. But there's a lot of things that's going to happen to that team up north. I mean, lose the Sire season, lose those 2 seasons, 2021, 2022. Those 2 seasons would be stripped off the record, and pretty much we'll have to deal with defeat. Just a thought. Well, with that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.